Hey guys, hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So this is the second part or the second video on TIFR PYQ series, and in this video I'm going to take general organic chemistry questions from general organic chemistry. In case if you have not watched the previous video, that was on organic spectroscopy. Also, just to inform you, if you are preparing for the exam and want to cover other topics as well and want to cover them quickly, so I have taken some free classes, some free special classes on the Unacademy platform. So I'll give you link of them in the description of this video so that you can directly go over there and watch the recordings of them, because I have done questions on thermodynamics and group theory. So all these topics are already been done on that particular platform, on the Unacademy platform. So make sure that you don't miss out those topics as well. I'll make videos on them also, but that will take a little bit of time. So in case if you want to cover them quickly, that is one of the way how you can go for that. All right. Now having said that, let's continue with our video. Alright, so in this question they says that what is the correct CH bond dissociation energy. Now that means clearly means that which of these bond is like difficult to break. The more difficulty to break the bond, the higher dissociation energy it will have, right? So that can be easily done through your S percentage, okay, percentage S character, that's what we call it. And percentage S character basically measures the level of electronegativity, right? The amount of electronegativity which you have in the compound. Now if you see, this carbon over here is a sp2 hybrid carbon, this carbon here is a sp3 hybrid carbon, whereas this carbon is sp hybrid carbon. Now if I write down the percentage S characters, so this one has 50% of percentage S character, this one has 33.3 percentage of it, and this one is having around 25% of that, right? So that is the percentage S characters which we have over here. Now what we have to understand is when this particular bond is made, that depends upon, like, because this is H plus ion, right? So the H plus ion will be more attracted towards more electronegative group. If the high electronegative like electronegativity is high over here, then it is going to get attracted with a higher force or with a stronger force. In order to break that, you need more and more energy to do that, right? So you know, percentage S character goes with the electronegativity, right, or the negative character of that. So yeah, electronegativity. So that clearly means that here the carbon is highly electronegative compared to the carbon over here, and since the carbon is more electronegative here, so the carbon hydrogen bond is more strongly bound, right, and compared to this one. So that makes C to have the highest bond dissociation energy or CH bond dissociation energy, because of the high electronegativity of the carbon on this sp hybrid position. Then obviously the next the next S character goes for A. So next will be A, and then comes your V. So the correct answer for this goes your option number D. This is as simple as that. There are various shortcut tricks which organic chemists generally remember, like based upon S character, this is how it is done. But the idea behind it is the electronegative character which the carbon attains on increasing the S character. Alright, so that's what it is. There are other ways also in which you can understand this particular whole thing. That is based upon the shape of the orbital. That is also going to help you to do that. The shape of the orbital will be linear over here, the shape will be tetrahedral, and over here the shape will be trigonal planar. The amount of electron cloud which will be there in a particular direction will be different. So that's a different perspective of understanding, but I hope you understood this, right? Alright, so let's take the next question now. Alright, let's talk about the next question, which is again from 2021 exam, and here it says that indicate the stereochemical relationship between the two molecules. Now these are the two like pentane diol, cyclopentane diols, and if you see, both of these clearly look like a mirror image of each other. And you know that if two molecules are mirror images of each other, they are called enantiomers. If they are not, they are diastereomers. But fine, we'll go in a more systematic way to solve this. The better way or a more systematic way to solve this type of question is to go through the absolute conformations. So find out the configuration of the chiral carbons, and if the configuration changes in both the molecule exactly opposite, if the configuration is exactly opposite, in that case we call them as enantiomers. So we'll try to find out, this is the chiral carbon. If you find out the configuration over here, this will be given 1, this will be given 2 because this OH is nearest to this side, and then 3. And the fourth priority group is hydrogen, which is below the plane, so nothing to worry about that. And since this is going a clockwise rotation, so that's what will be called as R configuration. Similarly, if you calculate this for the other chiral carbon which is here, you will find out that this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. The least priority group is hydrogen, which is over here, and since the least priority group is above the plane, and although this is going anti-clockwise, which should make it S configuration, but because the least priority group is above the plane, so you have to reverse the configuration, and instead of S you will call it as R. Okay, so that is how we do. And if you don't know about all these things, I have made a video on it, so you can watch that video. I'll give you link in the I button. You can watch that video as well. Now similarly, we'll try to find out over here. I'm not going to do that, but like when you are going to calculate the configurations, you are going to get S and S over here. So remember that the configuration are exactly opposite of each other. That means it is an enantiomer. If it would not happen like that, let's say we were getting R and R, and here also we got R and R, in that case the molecule would have been identicals. Okay, and if we have got R here, and here we would have got R and S, which is something weird, in that case the molecules will be diastereomers to each other. Okay, so this is how we we find out the stereochemical relationship between the two molecules. I hope this is clear to you. Let's go to the next question then. Okay, now this question was asked in TIFR 2020 exam. It says order of field effect of alkyl groups are tertiary butyl has highest field effect, then isopropyl group has the next highest field effect, then ethyl group, and then the methyl group. Okay, now which molecule among PHCH3, PHCH2CH3, PHCHCH3 whole twice, and PHCCH3 whole thrice has the highest dipole moment in the gas phase? Now understand that what they are actually trying to say is you are basically like attaching a methyl group over here in this PHCH3. Here you are attaching a CH2CH3 group on this phenyl ring, and then here you are attaching a isopropyl group basically, right? This is the isopropyl group, and in the last one here you are joining a tertiary butyl group. Okay, that's a tertiary butyl group. So tertiary butyl here, isopropyl here, and here this is ethyl group, and here it is methyl group. Now as in the question it was given that the field effect means the effect which that groups applies on the electron cloud of the neighboring group or whatever group is nearby to it, that is highest in the case of tertiary butyl. That means what? The electron cloud of this phenyl ring are going to get influenced by the groups which are attached here. Okay, these groups are going to they are going to affect the electron cloud of this phenyl ring. Now which of these groups are going to affect the electron cloud highest? The group which has highest field effect, that is your tertiary butyl. So tertiary butyl is going to cause the highest distortion in the electron cloud, and that is going to create the highest dipole moment. So the question, as it says that which of the following will have highest dipole moment, so the answer will be your option number D. All right, so this is how it will be done. Right, let's take the next question then. Okay, now this was a good question here. It says that the octanol water partition coefficient, that is log P, of the following amines are as shown below. Okay, so log P values of the different amines are given to you. Now it says which amine will have highest solubility in water. Now for that you have to understand what is octanol water partition coefficient. All right, so let me explain you about octanol water partition coefficient, what it is. This is also referred as KOW somewhere, okay, or you can also call it as P. Now this water octanol partition coefficient, as the name suggests, what you can interpret from this? Octanol is what? It's octanol is basically alcohol of having 8 carbon chain, right? And water is water, right? So this KOW or P, or your octanol water partition coefficient, it measures the amount of hydrophilicity and hydrophobicity of different drug molecules or different protein molecules. It can be calculated for anything. Generally for ligands it is calculated, that how much it is hydrophobic or hydrophilic. Okay, so just for your just for so that you remember it, I am just giving you the exact idea of it, that if your KOW is greater than 1, okay, if it is greater than 1, it means it is more of hydrophobic. Okay, and hydrophobic means this is going to dissolve in fat. Okay, this is going to dissolve in fat or lipids. Okay, so it's going to dissolve in those kind of like solvents, not in water. And if your KOW is less than 1, in that case this is called as hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means it is going to dissolve in water easily, and yeah, that's what it is. So the question is now much clear to you. It says that you have different log p values. Now since the value over here are shown over here in this way, and direct values are given, you just have to check it out in this, like you just have to interpret the way it is given. They have said that which of them will have highest solubility in water. So of course the one which has the value less than 1. Okay, the option which has value less than 1, and that is your option number D. So D is going to have highest solubility. Do let me know in the comments if it would have asked that which of these among A, B, C, D, which of these has least solubility in water, then what would have been your answer? Yeah, I know that is very easy, but still you can comment down that answer below. Alright, I hope this question is quite clear. The only thing which was the matter of discussion was octanol water partition coefficient, and I hope you have understood it. Okay, let's take the next question here. Again, this question is from TIFR 2020 exam. It says that the methyl group in the following compounds are. Now here methyl groups are in 1, 2 and 3. In all these molecules you have methyl groups. What are these exactly? What is the relationship over here? Now the topic which covers these things are called as topicity, and I have covered this whole topic in a video, a shortcut trick and all those things we have discussed in that video. So in case if you have not watched that, I'll link you that video in the I button. Okay, so you can watch that video completely. But yeah, let's try to solve this question. So here the methyl groups which they are asking is these. Okay, in option number 2 these are those two methyl groups, and in option number 3 these are those two methyl groups. Now if these two methyl groups can be interchanged with the help of a axis, with the help of a axis of rotation, then those groups are called as enantiotopic. So that is in option number 2. You can see that if I rotate this methyl A and methyl B can easily interchange their positions, and that makes them enantiotopic. So these becomes enantiotopic, and if you cannot do that, in that way they are called as diastereotopic. Okay, that is the easiest explanation which I can give for this question. For detailed understanding of these things, watch that video in detail. Okay, so everything has been discussed over there. So for option number 1, you cannot rotate this through this axis, right? This rotation is not allowed. Why? Because this amine group and COH group, these are not identical, so you cannot replace them by rotation, right? So although methyls can be rotated, but this side it's not a acceptable rotation. Same goes for option number 3. That also is not going to have that acceptable rotation. So that makes option number A as diastereotopic, and option number 3 also like diastereotopic, which makes option number A as the correct option for this question. All right, quite simple. Okay, let's go for the next question then. All right, here in this question says that which one of the following compound has largest dipole moment. Okay, now this is again a very good question, and these type of questions are generally asked in CSIR net also. So if you look upon how to identify dipole moment, that can be easily done. If there are two different charges and they are separated by a certain distance, then that particular molecule will have highest dipole moment. And if you look upon all these three molecules, they all seems to be neutral, but the third molecule will become more stable if I break this bond, heterolytic cleavage if I do to this particular bond, and if I give charges on both these rings, and if I make this ring negatively charged over here, a carbon ion here, and if I give a carbocation over here, now both these rings will gain stability due to because now they are going to follow the Huckel rule, and both of them will become aromatic. and you can see there is a difference of charges. So generally we write it down like this, like a resonance structure we draw, and we draw it something like this: plus charge here, minus charge here, resonating throughout the ring, something like this. Now you have two different charges separated by a distance, so it will have highest dipole moment. So that highest dipole moment will be in option number B. Now this type of thing you are not going to experience anywhere. In option number 1 also nothing is going to happen like that. In option number 2 also nothing is going to happen like that. So option number B is the correct option, right? Alright, let's talk about this question over here. It was asked in TFR 2021, and the question says that rank the organic amines shown below in the order of their increasing pKa values. Now understand that what pKa means. pKa is basically inversely proportional to your acidity order, okay, and you can say it's directly proportional to its basicity order. So if you know the basicity order of any organic molecule, you can simply write down the pKa order as same. pKa and basicity orders follow the same trend. Now you have 4 options here, and many people did mistake in this question. I'll explain you why. Understand that the question is like when you are trying to find out the basicity of amines, you have to be very careful, because the basicity changes if it is in a gaseous phase or in the liquid phase. Because in the gaseous phase solvation is not going to happen, but in the solution phase or in the liquid phase or in the aqueous medium, it is going to undergo solvation also. So that concept also comes over there. So I'm just giving you a hint of it. So for option, like for molecule A, B, C and D, if you see all of these, simply what you can understand is, if I just look upon the lone pair of electron, basicity means the one which can easily give its lone pair of electron, or the one which can easily accept H plus ion, right? So the one which can accept H plus ion, so I'll write down, so electron pair donor or H plus ion acceptor, right? These are your base, like these are called as your base. The one which does this very easily, it's a better base, right? Okay, so if I just talk about the electron pair donation, who can give electron pair easily, so all of these have their electron pairs. And if you see, option number B has electron pair, and along with that it has 3 sides plus I giving group, right? It has alkyl groups which are going to apply the plus I effect on the nitrogen, and which is going to make this nitrogen very vulnerable, and this will easily donate its lone pair of electron. After donation of lone pair electron, the nitrogen is going to get a plus charge, and that plus charge will be stabilized by all these alkyl groups, right? So that is the simple thing which is going to happen over here, which will make B highly basic. So it is very easy for molecule B to donate its lone pair of electrons. So B will be highest. That is shown in option A also and in option B also. Option C says ki C will be highest. No, it is not going to happen. And option D says ki A will be highest. No, that is not going to happen as well, because in A this lone pair, this is in the resonance with the benzene ring. So that is not going to happen. So just cancel out these two. Now the mistake which people did is thinking of that, okay, A is having resonance with this benzene ring, so it should be least, right? And that made many people to decide for option number C, but that is not the correct one, as I simply cancelled this out. See how it is being done. Here molecule D is least basic. Why it is? Because as I said that H plus ion acceptor is also a base. Now for that it has to form a bond with H and then gain a positive charge. Then only this is going to form then only this basic ability or the basic property of this molecule is going to be shown, right? Now this hydrogen ion, in order to come and form a bond, will be very difficult because of the presence of these steric hindrance. Okay, so steric inhibition effect is there by these 2 tertiary butyl groups which are present ortho to this nitrogen or at the positions 2 of this pyridine ring, and that is going to decrease the basicity of this particular molecule. So this is going to be least basic because of the reason, right? So you got the point that this is going to be least basic because any hydrogen cannot approach this nitrogen, or anything cannot approach this nitrogen. That's because of the steric hindrances by these 2 bulky groups. That will make D the least basic one, and among A, B and C, A will be least, then your C, and the highest basic is B. That's because of the obvious reason of the availability of the lone pair of electrons, right? So that will make the basic order as your B highest, then C, then A, and the least one will be, sorry, the least one will be D. So this is the order of your basicity, and this is again going to be the same order of pKa. So option number A is your correct option. All right, now let's go to the next question then. All right, let's take the last question for this video. It was asked in TIFR 2019 exam, and it says many times enantiomers give rise to different orders. For example, minus carvone, that is your molecule number 1, has sweetest minty smell, and plus carvone, that is your second molecule here, has a spicy aroma like Persian cumin seeds, right? Similarly, plus limonene, that is your molecule number 3, is found in oranges, and minus limonene, that is your molecule number 4th, it should be 4th over here, right? Sorry, yeah, this should be 4th. There's a misprint, just leave that. Okay, is found in lemons. All right. So what would be the stereochemical description of their absolute configuration? So you have to find out the absolute configurations of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you have to tell that which is the correct option. So I hope that this much stereochemistry you guys know to find out the absolute configurations of the molecules given over here, and it is pretty simple. Okay, these are all terpenes and their derivatives, so you can easily do that. I am leaving this question as a homework for you all, as I do in the previous video also, and many of you have done it correctly, and I'm very happy to see the answers over there, and I would be very happy if you will answer correctly for this question as well. After few days I will update the answer in the comment section of this video. Okay, so make sure that if you know the answer, please make sure that you comment down that below. Okay, so that's it for this video. These much questions were there in from your stereochemistry, from your stability, and basically from your general organic chemistry in your TIFR exam. And as I told you that before 2019 I couldn't find much questions from this particular topic in the exams. So recently from 2019 and 2020, 2021, the number of questions have been increased. Around 2 to 3 questions you are getting from this topic. So make sure that you cover this topic as well. If you are not good at organic chemistry, these are some of the topics which are basics, and if you know, you can simply score some marks in the exam. And if you are good at organic chemistry, nothing to say than that, right? So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye. Hey guys, so I teach live on Unacademy Plus platform. Here I teach for the CSIR UGC NET category, and you can follow me over here for regular classes. You can access my free classes as well as my paid classes on this particular platform. The classes which are free, you can get that under the section of special classes, whereas in order to access my paid classes, paid live classes, you have to take Unacademy Plus subscription. So do make sure that you take the Unacademy Plus subscription to access all my paid classes, which are quite organized. The whole syllabus is being completed over there, and the classes are quite regular over there. So make sure that you take Unacademy Plus subscription by using my referral code, that is N_Huda. That's it for this. Thank you so much.